The whole aim of this seminar day, was to try and help you guys maximise your training where possible. So what we have seen over the course of the last 6 years of ShireFit is some members, putting all the time and effort into training, working hard, getting to the gym, and working really hard in the sessions, but then potentially missing out on maximising that training through their actions outside of the gym, potentially their mindset, potentially their nutrition. So today's kind of focused on those key aspects of things that we can do to help us improve our lives outside of the gym, so that we can support our training inside. And a lot of it is just going to be, I don't want it to be like lecture based, more like just give you the information so that you have the tools so that you can make choices in your own life that help you move in the direction that you want to go. So in terms of flow, we've kind of changed it a little bit. Sadly, the barrel from Brass Monkeys wasn't delivered in time. So instead of doing the recovery room introduction that we were going to do, we're going to do a bonus lecture from me. Yeah. Louder? Yeah. Good. Bonus lecture from me to begin with. Then we'll move to Will for nutrition. Back to me for mindset, and then Jack's going to finish off with communication on then back to Will for recovery, and then Jack's going to finish off on communication with coaches. So all of these are key factors that we think define how you train and what you get out of your training here with us in these walks. So the first introduction from me, guys, is a seminar on adaptation. What we mean by that. So adaptation being the positive changes we want to make to our bodies, minds, systems through training. So if you all come here for a reason, whether that's to, increase strength, improve your mental resilience, to decrease your resting heart rate, reduce your blood sugars, lose weight, all those things, right? And these are all favourable adaptations that we're searching for, but we're not entitled to them, guys. You have to earn these adaptations. One of the ways of which is coming into the gym, doing the class and training, but there are other ways that we have to earn the adaptation. You are not entitled to them, is what I want to say. So if other things in your life are not in control, your body might have to adapt to other stresses that are present. So let's start off by looking at what actually causes the adaptation. So adaptation is caused by a new or novel stimulus. You could call that a stressor. So in this environment, that might be weight on the barbell, it might be reps consumed in a workout, it might be time spent above a certain heart rate. Outside of this environment, it might be cold weather. It might be arguments with a significant other. It might be existential stress, questioning what you're doing in the world and how much of an impact you're having. It might be nutritional stress, eating the wrong things. Okay? It might be all these host of other stresses that we have to face as humans. The one that we focus on in this environment is generally physical stress. So that's through load or through volume or through intensity. Okay? And then there's a response to that stress. So a easy way to explain this is with like scarring. If you fall and you scrape your knee, you might develop a scar there. That is an example of the stimulus being the scraping of the knee on the floor, and then the response being the toughening of the skin on the knee to prevent you from further damage should it happen again. Same thing happens with our bodies in training. So we put a stressor on the body, let's say 100 kilos on your back for a back squat. This is the stimulus or the stressor, and then the response to that might be that we increase quadricep muscle density, or we might increase tendon thickness or something like that that helps us perform in that environment, yeah? Cool. Now, humans learn best by stories, I'm told. So I'm going to tell a story about a specific member. We're going to give that member a really boring name. Like the most common name you could think of, I don't know, maybe Matt Smith, something like that. So Matt Smith goes to work on Monday, and his boss is all over him, and he's got to stay late. So he stays late, he gets caught up in traffic and he gets frustrated in the traffic journey. Maybe he flips a few people off. I don't know if this is accurate to the actual Matt Smith, but this is all speculation. He makes it to the class, but he makes it late. And he doesn't really get to do the proper warm-up that everybody else is doing because he's late. And he joins in. He still gets a good session in. He back squats 3 reps at 100 5 times. He does the workout, he goes home. Because he's late, he misses dinner and he has a fallout with his wife, okay? She's annoyed at him. He has a big emotional reaction to that and they have an argument. Matt's a very reflective person, so Matt then spends the rest of the evening thinking about how he needs to apologise to his wife because it wasn't really her fault, and he stays up too late and he misses his bedtime, and he then incurs a lack of sleep or a sleep debt as a result of that, yeah? He wakes up in the morning because he's tired, he goes straight for the coffees, he then has 2 or 3 coffees throughout the day and a can of Monster because he's absolutely dying and he needs the energy. He goes back into the next session the following day, and this time he does make it on time, but he's not feeling great. He's obviously a little bit run down, and he doesn't really hit what he needs to hit, okay? Now, Matt has, as a result of the way he's lived his life, created a load of different stressors for his body to try and deal with. These stressors are written out on the boards in front of me now. I'm going to go through some for you. So, we're going to hold these stressors, by the way. I'm going to give them to you as well. So, first one, core temperature changes. You might experience a slight fluctuation in core temperature change. Second one, dehydration, because he drank too much coffee and Monster and he didn't have time for water on the day. Pathogen or toxin buildup. His immune system was slightly depressed because he was a little bit stressed, so he's built up a load of pathogens and toxins, maybe from eating badly as well. Digestive irritation. This is from eating very poor food. He's made some bad choices, and as a result, he's got some digestive irritation. Central nervous system fatigue and quadricep micro tears. These occurred in the gym due to his heavy back squats. You can have this on now. Deficit in calorie intake, he was low. The body can interpret a lack of fueling as a stressor in itself. So you can have this one, Angela. Overloading of the patella tendon, okay? He was good on his 100 kilo squats, but he did bounce in the bottom quite hard, so the tendons had to take a little bit of battering. So you can have this one, Nolan. Hormonal dysregulation. Because of the emotional stress that he experienced arguing with his wife, the lack of sleep and the poor nutrients in his body, he experienced hormonal dysregulation. High global acidity. Bad for our bodies, acidity in general. He experienced that through his nutritional choices, probably the way he trained, and probably his lack of sleep. And the last one we've got is high resting heart rate. He maybe has experienced a little bit of that. Okay, guys, so these are all the stresses that he's facing. I run out of people, so I'm going to have to hold these two. So, Matt Smith, hypothetical Matt Smith, I'll add, is experiencing all of these stresses, guys, and his body has got to choose something to respond to deal with, okay? And obviously, because he's got a load that he's going to deal with, he might put a little bit into each one, and he's only got a certain amount of chips that he can spend. In the fitness industry, we like to call this adaptation currency. If you think about it as like a monetary value. Maybe Matt's got £20 to spend, yeah? So he's going to spend £2 on core temperature, hold them up for me guys, £2 on core temperature regulation, maybe he spends 50p on dehydration, he spends £5 on pathogen and toxin buildup, he spends £1 on digestive irritation, so on and so forth, yeah? And he splits his money, and the body will make decisions at the right time to fix the right things and protect him from the right things, okay? So as a result, the one who, put your hands up if you know the answer, knows the one that we're trying to affect within our training, guys. Mel? Yes, if we want to get better in training, guys, the one we want to improve is central nervous system fatigue and quadricep micro tears. If those two things improve. He gets higher central nervous system drive and better quadriceps, bigger, stronger, whatever, more mitochondrial density from his quadriceps, then he will squat more. And Matt's desperate to squat more, he really wants to squat more, but his body's got to deal with all of these other things what are going on, okay? Right? So if we want that one to improve, he might have only spent 50p there, because all of his other ones have taken up the cost of his £20. So maybe Matt gets a little bit stronger, maybe he gets 1 kilo stronger at the end of the cycle as a result of his lifestyle choices. That means that he can't prioritize the ones that he wants, yeah? So the way we solve this problem as athletes, if you want to improve as an athlete, think about how an athlete lives. Very low stress, lots of sleep, try to avoid work stressors. Like Olympic athletes are enforced to have naps in the day. They avoid conflict or emotional difficulty. They have everything taken care of for them so that they don't have to stress. They, as a result, have less of these things to deal with, right? So we're going to paint a different story about Matt. This is Matt the following week, Matt Smith. So Matt gets up for work on Monday with ample time to make a really nice, nutritious breakfast. He then drives to work with plenty of time, so he isn't stressed out about the traffic. Have you noticed how when you're late, the traffic's always bad? Yeah? He's not stressed, so he can relax. He gets to work and he's got a good relationship with his boss. He knows that he's fulfilled and he's doing a good job and that his boss trusts him to work. He has an enjoyable day at work. He comes back from work on time and has eaten well and drunk well throughout the day. He goes to the gym on time. He does the proper warm-up. He engages with his friends, which makes him feel good. He squats his 3 reps at 100 kilos for 5 sets again. Okay. He then comes back, kisses his wife on the lips and says how much he's missed her. She says how much he's missed him. They have a nice, nutritious, calming meal together before they go to bed on time. Okay. So we're going to reduce now the ones that we've potentially lost. We've probably lost core temperature change, so we can drop that one. We've lost dehydration, so you can drop that one, Jody. We've lost some of the pathogen and toxin buildup, so we'll cut yours in half, Matt, and we'll put that down. You can put that down. We've lost digestive irritation. We've still got central nervous system fatigue and quadricep micro tears, so you can keep that one now. Deficit in calorie intake, probably significantly less because he's had his chance to eat his meals throughout the day and he's prioritized eating properly, so we can get rid of yours, Angela. Overloaded patellar tendons. We might still have that one, guys. Yeah, Matt's not perfect. His bottom squat weren't quite right, so his tendon did have to take a little bit of load. So that's fine, you can keep yours, Nolan. And hormonal dysregulation. Let's say Matt's got a genetic condition that potentially he still has that. So right now, instead of having, oh, sorry, I haven't covered mine. High global acidity probably dropped because he's ate well and drunk well throughout the day and slept well. High resting heart rate, probably lower because he's not as stressed. So we're going to get rid of mine. So now out of all the boards that we did have, we've only got 3 boards. Body has £20 to spend adaptation currency. It might put £10 into central nervous system fatigue and quads. It might put £5 into, oh, that's a terrible pound sign. £5 into the patellar tendons. And it might put the remaining £5 into his hormones. Okay, obviously this is an incredibly simplified view of a very complex machine, but I hope it allows you to understand now that by living correctly and making good life decisions, and obviously we understand that life happens and things aren't always perfect, but by making the right lifestyle choices, Matt's now prioritized the things that he wants to improve, and his body can actually improve them going forward. So we've got 2 very different stories there of Matt Smith. Remember, he's hypothetical. Matt Smith on one week, and then Matt Smith on another. Now, my experience as an aspiring athlete, you know, a fledgling athlete, you might say, is that it's not just about doing that on 1 week. The hard part is doing it week to week to week to week to week. And I think that athletes and members experience the same problems, okay, just at different levels. So we're all trying to achieve the same thing, which is improving physically and mentally within the training space. But how we manage our lives is the key factor in whether we actually do or not. And can you stack behaviours week after week, day after day, month after month to ensure that when you get to the end of a cycle, you've adapted to the stimulus, the stresses that you wanted. Okay, everyone understand how that works? Yeah? Like I say, very simple analogy of adaptation and stress, which is a lot more complicated, but I hope that sets the ground for what we're going to do today, which is look at nutrition, sleep, recovery, mindset that potentially allows you to control those lifestyle factors a little bit better so that your training in the gym benefits. All right, guys? Cool.